Not long ago, I discovered the truth about the world.
We're Shadowhunters. We protect the human world from the demon world.
Clary, is there a war going on that I don't know about?
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our podcast.
And today we are covering the Shadowhunters TV series.
Yes, and as you know, Shinigami Phoenix is a huge fan of this TV series, and we had been putting off watching it, and finally we got to watch it. It's a supernatural drama TV series based on a book written, or a book series I should say, The Mortal Instruments, written by Cassandra Clare.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good? Is it interesting? Should you check it out? Well, you're just going to have to watch the rest of this review to find out.
Yeah. But before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, include notification bell days and future podcasts and little pause videos.
And thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing videos, commenting, everything you do. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, specials.
Yes.
Now, this original book series is based on the novel, The Mortal Instruments, written by Cassandra Clare. And actually, the series premiered in January of 2016. So it's been on Freeform for a while. It was primarily filmed in Toronto, Canada. And it has a slightly older version of Clary. Instead of being 16 and becoming older, she's 18 at the beginning of the series.
Right. And the first season is, I think, 13 episodes.
Yes.
Right? 13 episodes.
Plus an extra.
Yes, if you go onto Hulu, you get a Shadowhunters suite, which is actually the cast coming together to look back at season 1 on a sort of interview or talk show.
BTS.
Right. And right before season 2. And this series also does adapt from the book itself. But instead of what we thought the process would be, like one book would be told per season, they decided to take a little bit of book 1 and take in lots of elements from various books, especially ones from near the end of the series, and incorporate them into a new version of the story.
Yes, definitely. And it's actually considered
a reboot?
Yes, of the movie, The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones.
Oh, so the movie was before the series.
Yes.
Okay.
And the genres this covers is teen drama, supernatural drama, horror, fantasy, romance. And you probably add some others in there too.
Right, because it's got some of everything, I guess.
So the first season showrunner was Ed Decter. For seasons 2 and 3, there are other people. And yes, there are 3 seasons. And the cast stars Catherine McNamara, Dominic Sherwood, Alberto Rosende, Matthew Dedero, Emerald Tobia, Isaiah Mustafa, Harry Shum Jr., and Alicia Wainwright.
Right.
So we'll tell you more about the characters as we go on. But it was very different than the novels. And we were surprised how different it was. It starts off kind of similar to the book, but it quickly deviates. Again, with her being 18, graduating from high school, getting ready to go to college.
Right.
Very different. Also, her appearance in the book, she's very short. She's a redhead, and she's still a redhead in here, but she's short, and she doesn't dress very stylishly, and she comes into her own by the end of the series. And here, where she's already supermodel looking, she's very confident, and she's the total opposite of the Clary that's in the book series. So it took a little getting used to.
Right. And since this is a reboot, my guess is they want to update the story in a way where they think that it will be more interesting or fits the mold of other shows, especially since this was a little bit, the channel's kind of similar to what CW and the original version ABC had as well. Because the movie, while it did stick to a lot of what happened in book 1, there were so many extra changes to the characters that had a reverse problem. The story was almost one-to-one, but the characters were so different that it sort of had a love-hate sort of reaction from people who enjoyed the books. So this one decides to take a whole new approach by rebooting it and then reimagining the storylines into something entirely new. So I guess you have to understand that this is not going to be one-to-one with the book. This is their version and their take on the story, how they would tell it.
Definitely. And once you accept that, then you can watch it for what it is. And it's funny you mention that because the first season of Shadowhunters got mixed responses from critics. Some liked it, some didn't. And it did get some award nominations, winning a GLAAD Award, 16 Choice Awards, and 5 People's Choice Awards.
Oh,
So it did
okay.
pretty well. So this one, as we mentioned, it starts off with Clary on her 18th birthday, and she mentioned being accepted into the Brooklyn Academy of Arts. That evening, she's supposed to go out and celebrate with her best friend Simon.
Right. Which they actually do a little tongue-in-cheek thing because she almost designs a Shadowhunters graphic novel. So they did put a little nod to that in there, which actually was pretty brilliant. She wrote and drew the book.
Yes. And like in the book, things happen. She finds out she's a Shadowhunter. Her mom is taken hostage and then uses a spell to knock herself out. She finds out the world that she's been living in has been a total lie all these years. Again, like in the book. So it stayed really similar up through the first 2 episodes. And then after that, it went a whole different way.
Right.
We do get to see some of the characters we are familiar with in the book, which is good.
Right. Early on. Like you have, of course, Jace. You have Magnus Bane. You have Alec. You, of course, see Claire's mom. You see, actually, a couple more regular friends besides Simon are introduced in here, too, I guess, so she has more than just Simon.
Right.
Because apparently it is a rule at Disney to have at least 2 friends for the main characters. I guess they gave her 1 more to fit the contract. And you also introduced 2 other Shadowhunters at their headquarters. You also have Luke. You also have the police department. They kind of introduce groups of people each episode, because within the first 2 episodes you also have the werewolves and the vampires coming in as well, so I guess they really want to make sure they could get in as much as they could.
Yes, and looks like some of the ages for the other characters are different as well, since she's 18, of course, for Jace and Alec, and
yes,
yeah, they have to be a different age as well. And then we don't see Max right now in this season. They said he's being sent away for him to be safe, which is good because he comes to a demise in the book series, which you really didn't like.
Right.
So I'm glad that they didn't go with that part.
Me too.
So in discussing the rest of the series, we'll go character by character to make it a little easier and a little quicker. So Catherine McNamara is Clary Fairchild. And as we mentioned, she comes into her own much quicker than she did in the book.
Right.
Just like in the book series, she's able to see the things that are happening in the shadows.
Right.
That the other humans don't. Simon thinks she's crazy. She hasn't had anything to drink yet. And through this first season, she ends up learning quickly how to use the blaze, quickly how to fight, learning Valentine's her dad.
The Mortal Cup she uses quickly.
And then falling in love with Jace and finding out he's her brother. But they did it in a different way than the book. A much different way.
So, So in a way, they did adapt book 1 into 1 season, but they took a lot of elements from latter books. And there's 7 books. So they didn't go on 7 seasons. They clearly reconstructed this to fit a new way of telling the story. So much so that they even threw in 1 episode where they have a sort of multiverse in here. Like, okay, here we go with
Didn't
Disney.
see that coming. That almost made me want to pull the plug.
Right.
But I stuck it out.
Right. And I did actually find that a little entertaining in a way. It was hilarious but awkward, because that was sort of like how, you know how Supernatural will have their little comedic episodes, even with the grim storyline, is something so out there only they could tell. Shadowhunters kind of did a similar thing with this, where she goes to this other realm, and everyone's very normal. And they even did this joke where, you know, everything looks kind of dark and hard to see on the screen. Like they say, it's hard to watch the show because this filter is dark. Well, they tinted up so high you can't help but see everything. It's bright and shiny and happy-go-lucky. Everyone's normal and successful and la-la-la-la-la. And it was actually hilarious that they said, yeah, we know how dark this looks. Let's lighten it up here.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because now we can talk about our actor that plays Jace Herondale, Dominic Sherwood, who actually has a British accent, and you can't tell in here. So we were surprised in hearing him in another interview. And in here, I have to say, when it first starts off, the actors, I guess, were kind of finding their way. The acting was not that great. and we wanted to stick it out. And then by episode 4, not only did the series get better, but also the acting had gone really higher up.
Yes.
And again, I think it's
Much
because
better.
they found their groove.
Yeah,
as
they knew
Cusco
how to be
said.
the characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it all began to work and fall into place. As you mentioned, that episode with the multiverse kind of threw it out again.
Mhm.
But after that, it got back into being how it is. He sounds really good as Jace.
Mhm.
His voice acting is really good.
Right.
And again, his acting talents really improved by the 4th episode. So now he's really convincing as Jace.
Right.
At first, we were kind of like, oh no, did they pick the right guy? But yes, by the time his talents catch up with what was required for the character, he's doing well. We have Alberto Rosende as Simon Lewis, Clary's best friend. And he becomes a vampire too quickly in here. It's like,
It's
blink and he's a vampire.
Yeah, 2 episodes in, he's bitten, and it was a little odd, and then it slows down. He thinks he's going insane because the transformation's taking so long, and it's a little weird that they did that, but, okay.
Yeah. I think he fits better, again, the longer you see him perform. In the movie, they had Klaus from the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
And he fit and did well. But here, I have to say, the longer you see him perform, the better he gets and the more you get used to him.
Right.
And he, again, gets into the character and the performance. By the end of the season, you just accept him as Simon, and you've got it, and everyone is just gelling.
Right.
We have Matthew Daddario as Alec Lightwood, and he's really different from the one who played him in the movie. He's much more serious in here. Maybe matching the novels more than
Maybe.
the one who played him in the movie.
Yeah. Plus, the humor isn't really in here as much as the books had. That one episode with them going to the other universe was the closest they had to have some comedy in there, of being tongue-in-cheek with how dark the story is and going to a world where everything's bright and rainbows. And when you get to this show, they have a few good lines, but they kind of keep it straightforward the whole time, which I think, for me, is what's missing. Everyone kind of has their own little personality, and they have some dry wit and dry humor, especially talking about Jason happened with Claire, and said, "Oh, you sicko, like, it's not like that." I kind of miss that they would make fun of him and say these things. So I do wish they had more humor in it.
True. We have Emma Road Tobia as Isabel Lightwood. And here she's very short. In the novel, she's very tall.
Yeah.
And it's like they switch the physicality. They're
Right.
the opposite. Now,
Right.
as far as looks, she's dead on, looks like she's described in the book.
Yeah, right.
She fit from the beginning. I have to say her acting was perfect from the very beginning when she got on screen. I accepted her as Isabel very quickly.
Right.
She really fit, and she was a very good cast for the character.
Right.
Have a few more. Isaiah Mustafa is Luke Garraway, and if you remember the Old Spice commercials, he was the Old Spice man, the original one.
yeah.
Yes, and he's playing Luke, werewolf, a Shadowhunter turned werewolf.
Right. And his role is actually toned down a bit in here too. We kind of realized that he wasn't in the show as much. He showed up in the first few episodes, then he was nowhere to be seen for a while, and then shows up again near the end. So it looks like they made his role a little smaller, so more of the other characters could be, I guess, forming the team that they wanted for this turn.
But also, he's another one that fit immediately from the beginning.
Right.
You like, okay, I can picture it now. I'm reading the books. I can picture him.
Yeah, it is
as
kind of
Luke.
how you thought he would look.
Yes, so that was great casting. And I know he'd been in other movies before. I hadn't seen him in them. But again, he's another casting choice that was a good fit.
Right.
Two more. Harry Shum Jr. as Magnus Bane, and he's the High Warlock of Brooklyn. And at first, we were like, okay, whom they going to choose? They got to find someone who really fits. Well, looks-wise, he fits, except for that darn black eyeliner. I wish they would get rid of that.
Oh.
And also the cheap clothing. Now, in the book, he had tastes that were kind of odd because he's being a alive for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But in here, most of the clothes they give him are cheap. And I'm like, Magnus Bane wasn't cheap.
Yeah,
Not at all.
It was so weird to see that, like, he was trying to look a whole different style.
Right.
And it's weird because they had in the book where he wore something that really didn't fit him, like a too small shirt or cropped him. He said, no, why do humans wear this? And he refused to wear it again.
Right. And then also, in here, he's much more aggressive in chasing Alec. In the book, he was trying not to appear desperate. He was trying not to reveal how he felt very quickly. Also in the Chronicles, the Bane Chronicles, there were 10 stories, an excellent read if you haven't read it. You found out more about his personality, and there's even one story dedicated to he and Alec going on their first date. This Magnus is very different from the book.
True.
He seems to be more
an outrovert as well. He doesn't keep to himself as much as he did in the book. He seems to be, really wants to be in everyone's business pretty much.
With that being said, Shun grew on me by the 3rd episode. He fits.
Yeah.
He's just a different type of Magnus Bane.
Right.
And you just have to get used to it. But again, another great casting choice.
Yes.
Now, the last one we should mention. David Castro is Rafael Santiago, who was the vampire that we learned in the Bane Chronicles that Magnus helped when he was in trouble. Their relationship in here seems to not be as close as it was in the book, because they had helped each other. And he actually helped save Raphael, we learned in the Bane Chronicles.
Right.
And then we also learned that he gives up his life for Magnus.
Right.
In payment for what he helped him with after he was turned to a vampire.
Right.
And here, I didn't picture him looking like this, and he doesn't have the long hair like it says in the book. This actor's a very different take on Raphael from the book.
Right, exactly. So, as you said, you just have to get more adjusted to it. Doesn't mean you have to like everybody in it.
True.
But for the most part, they at least did get a lot of the actors right in terms of how the characters act after they got adjusted. In terms of looks, majority are right yet again, and there are some that clearly have some tweaks to them, and you can take them or leave them. Or, heck, they could even be changed within seasons 2 and 3. It's possible that they may have probably updated them to make them look more like they're described in the book.
Very
so
true.
you're welcome to tell us in the comments if any of these characters gone through design changes under their clothes or their makeup and stuff as the show goes on.
True. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if it's on Freeform anymore. I think it is on demand.
And it's on.
We've been watching it on Hulu.
Yes, I think Freeform and Hulu.
As we mentioned, we've watched season 1. There are 3 seasons, a total of 55 episodes. The executive producers, there are quite a few. There are 12 executive producers.
Oh my gosh.
So that might be one reason why you have so much difference from the books. The episodes vary in length, ranging from 39 to 60 minutes, depending on what you're watching. And I have to say that I'm not surprised it was renewed after the first season, even though we weren't watching it during the time it originally aired. It was something different for Freeform at that time.
Yeah.
And it was so different that it says that it was the highest rated pilot in years on Freeform.
Wow. Understandably so.
And you also had fans of the novels.
Right.
You probably wanted to see, hey, what did they do with it? Like Phoenix.
Right.
So we're glad we watched it. So if you've seen Shadowhunters Immortal Instruments TV series, let us know in the comments. Did you love it? Did you not like it? Do you think the deviation from the novels was a good thing, or do you wish it had almost been one-to-one like the books? Tell us what you think. And again, if you haven't seen it, it's available on Freeform on demand, as well as Hulu. Might be available somewhere else, but not clear.
Yeah, it might have a DVD too. Who
But
knows?
go ahead, give it a try. Watch a few episodes. Come back and tell us what you think.
Right.
So, if you've watched one or all the seasons of Shadowhunters, let us know in the comments. Did you love it? Did you hate it? How do you think it compared to the book series and to the movie that came out? Tell us what you think. If you haven't seen it, right now, as far as we know, it's available exclusively on Disney+. Check it out. Come back and tell us what you think.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly reviews for anime series, anime shows, all things animation, and a little bit of live action.
Yes. And thank you so much for joining us today.
As always,
You are special.
Thanks for watching. Mask Entertainment.
And a Mom
Have
Entertainment.
a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you later on in the form